What is up, YouTube? I have pretty much been MIA for a little while, and as you can see in the title, kind of gave up riding motorcycles for a little bit, but not because I wanted to. Me and the wife actually come down with COVID. It kind of sucked, but basically what happened, to make a long story kind of short, is we went to a small little party with some friends and family, and a couple days, I think that night, one of the people there, they had a little bit of a headache and went home. It was kind of late anyway, so we all started to kind of go home. Well, that Monday, he come down with COVID, or tested positive. And then Tuesday, his wife tested positive. And Tuesday night, I'd gotten really dehydrated at work, but that night started to get really cold chills, all that. So messaged work, said, hey, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to go get tested. I think I might have it. So me and the wife went. Sure enough, we had COVID. So, and it was a little rough. That first couple days was like a bad flu, you know, cold sweats, all that kind of good stuff. It kind of sucked, but I hadn't ridden a motorcycle in a little while. Funny thing is, I dropped the road glide off with my buddy, and 2 days in, he's like, all right, you can come pick it up. And I was like, I can't. And through the whole process, I wasn't really feeling that great, so I didn't ride. I did pick the bike up like 3 weeks after me dropping it off. Just got the road glide back. That's going to be a couple of stories all in itself. But we're going to ride down it today. I got to go to my parents' house, feed their dog because they're out of town. So let's hop on the bike and tell you everything going on. So, back to COVID. We were sequestered into a house for 2 weeks, and we were both to go back to work in 14 days. Now, we were both pretty sick. I mean, it hit us pretty hard. It wasn't the worst sickness I've ever had, but it was like the second worst. The worst sickness I ever had, I had the flu and the sinus infection at the same time. Now that was rough. Although that didn't last as long as this did. We lost our taste, we lost our sense of smell, and it started to come back gradually. But everything didn't really taste right, and some things still don't really taste right. I couldn't really eat any dairy. Everything just tasted sour and rotten, anything with dairy. We could taste like peanut butter and stuff like that. And the big telling factor is we had a little jar of Vicks Vapor Rub. And if you ever smelt that stuff, you know, like it has a very strong, distinct smell. And we could put our nose right into the can, and we couldn't smell it. And that's a pretty crazy feeling to know when you've got something that strong that you cannot smell. There's a lot of foods we couldn't taste. Everything just tasted bland. Like the first 3 days, it was hard to drink and eat. We're just so tired and so weak. I lost like 20 pounds in like 3-4 days. That was crazy. We did finally start to hydrate, did a little bit better, and we'd go on like a little walk to the mailbox, like twice a day. We got a decently long path, so it's not, you know, we got a little bit of walking we can do. But we didn't leave our property for 2 weeks, and it was crazy. We definitely started feeling better, and I started to do some things around the house. Obviously, I couldn't do anything with Wretched. I did throw up like a 20% off code on the website, so everybody, and I told them what the situation was. I said, look, I have COVID, shutting down the shop for 2 weeks, but I didn't want to close the shop
So I put up a discount and said, hey, here's 20% off. The shipping's going to be 2 weeks out. If you still want to buy something, you know, I greatly appreciate it. You can take use of this 20% off, and you just got to wait a couple of weeks. I'm pretty good with shipping. I usually have my stuff shipped out pretty quickly. I try not to let anything sit. If I am out of town or I've got something going on, usually I will throw it up on the website just so people can see. You know, I usually post it on Instagram and all that stuff as well. But I know it's usually easy to post it up online first. But overall, COVID wasn't horrible. It was kind of nice to spend that amount of time with the wife. Even though we weren't feeling very good, probably the first week we didn't really do much. But the second week, you know, we got to watch a lot of movies together, and we cooked together, and there's just a bunch of stuff that, you know, I guess you take for granted a little bit when you're so busy. Just, you know, cooking a nice meal together, even though we wouldn't be able to taste half of it. We used a lot of pepper and a lot of like seasoning to try to get just a little bit of a taste. Luckily we had some friends and family that dropped stuff off for us. That was amazing. You know, I had, look at all this grass, like that is deep grass there. That would be really bad to hit on the motorcycle. I know that some people just laugh or whatever when people complain about grass in the roadway. And don't get me wrong, if it's just a little bit of grass, it's like grass dust almost. It is what it is. But that was like thick clumps of grass. If that gets a little bit of moisture on it, or if that was like in the middle of the lane, and I mean, it'd be bad too, but if you tap the brake while you're on that stuff, you're gonna slide. That's an insane amount of grass for somebody to throw out, to be in the roadway for someone to have a problem on. That just kind of clicked in my brain, seeing that. I hope you guys kind of saw it, but I kind of lost my place of where I was at. But that will tell me a little bit of where to go, because after COVID, like we were in definitely a brain fog. Like it was weird. Like we didn't have much energy. The first 3 days back to work were hell. It was like 95 degrees and work was a little busy. The heat has since broke and it's not so bad. But I just gone to work this past Monday and it was brutal. The brain just doesn't want to work right. You forget things. You don't have the focus. You know, and you can't breathe quite as well. Me and the wife never really had like breathing problems. Like we never had to go to the hospital or anything like that. You're just short of breath. You haven't done anything for 2 weeks. But yeah, my friends and family, they did come over. They did drop some stuff off that we needed because we didn't plan, you know, for anything. We didn't have 2 weeks worth of food and drinks at the house. Because we had water and stuff, but we were just drinking nothing but water. And even though our taste wasn't quite there, we had some Gatorade dropped off, so we had something, you know, a little bit of sugar and electrolytes and stuff. But we weren't eating much at all. We really weren't. We cooked a lot of chicken, because that was the only thing we could really wanted to stomach, I guess. But still a bunch more grass here. Overall, not a horrible experience. It was really nice that we had the friends and family to help us out with bringing us stuff. Luckily, I had cash at the house when they would drop stuff off in front of our garage door, and they would tell me what the total would be before they got there, and I would take the cash. I would like Lysol it, put it in there, and Lysol the little baggie, and when I dropped it off, I'd put like a little spray can or something on top of it so it wouldn't fly away. I mean, I definitely didn't want to get anyone else sick. Whatever you believe about COVID, it is really contagious. And I mean, obviously I don't want anybody to be sick, but even if you don't like get sick from it, if you test positive, pretty much no matter where you work, you're out for 2 weeks. Now, I didn't get paid for being out, they did give me what they call like A&S. That was not much of anything. I basically sent a picture. I do work for a big company, but I sent a picture of like the note they gave me when they told me I was positive after getting the test, and I sent that to my HR, and he said basically what that does is without me having to do anything, that lets him immediately, take me out of work for 2 weeks, no real penalty, and he can set me up for the short-term disability. I don't have to do anything. But that short-term disability was not much money at all. It probably paid for like the groceries and the things that we bought the 2 weeks we were out, which I'm thankful for. I'm glad I got something. But my wife, she works at a hospital actually, and she had sick time. And with their sick time, you have to be out like 3 days before you can take it. And you have to use like, you have to have a doctor's note with it. You can't use it as like vacation. It's just for sick time, but it's paid. So obviously, they accrue it over the years or over time. But she got paid for the whole time, which was really nice. That helped out a lot. So money-wise, it really wasn't that big of a deal to be out. But she was getting paid. I got just enough to cover the car payment and groceries that we got people to drop us off. But I mean, on the other side of the spectrum, it's not like we were spending any money either. We were stuck at home, and we just didn't really spend any money. So overall, it wasn't a horrible experience. I definitely don't want anybody to go through it. My dad ended up getting sick, and my brother actually just dropped some stuff off to my brother today. He's sick now. Luckily, it doesn't appear that he's as sick as I am, or was. But I just dropped off some fresh fruit and some drinks for him. He said that he was already pretty stocked up before, but I dropped some stuff off, and I want to make sure that he's good to go. He does live by himself, and I know that can be kind of tough to be, quarantined in your house by yourself for 2 weeks. You can find some things to do for a few days, but after a while, that's tough. That's really tough. So definitely going to try to keep a check on him. One thing, I gave him some emergency packets. It's got some zinc in it. They say, that's good to take. And baby aspirin. One baby aspirin a day. I'm probably going to take one baby aspirin a day for the rest of the year, just to be sure to help with blood clots and stuff. COVID's kind of tricky, and no matter what you believe, it's really hard to get any information, because anything that's said over here is contested over here, and this is told to be fake from over here. Like, who knows? I don't know. All I know is I was sick and out of work for 2 weeks. But we're going to get back at it now. Hopefully, going to have plenty of videos coming up and whatnot. I do have some stuff planned for the road glide. I actually bought a piece to put on. That's been sitting in the house for a few weeks. Just got it back from kind of a crazy audio debacle. I don't want to get too much into it. I wish I could have really filmed it all, but things didn't go quite like I had planned or like I thought they were going to go. So I didn't have my camera, and the funny thing is, during COVID, I lost my regular GoPro. I couldn't figure out where in the world it was. I thought it was in the saddlebag when I dropped the bike off at my friend's shop. And at first, I got home and I wasn't quite sure where it was, and I was like, did I leave it in the saddlebag? I can't remember. It's like, well, no big deal. I'll be up there in a few days to pick it up, and I'll see. I didn't want to bother with my friend and say, hey, can you go check? But then I got COVID and I was out, and I kind of, it wasn't a priority, and I forgot all about it. I ended up finding it after picking the bike up, and it wasn't in there. I found that it was under a box on my bench. I guess I had moved the box, and I accidentally set it like on top. There was really not much in it, but set it on my little GoPro, and it was hiding from me. So that was my fault for sure, but I could not find that thing anywhere. And I was not really feeling good to the point of really wanting to make videos, really wanting to do anything. I didn't have much energy. I mean, I wasn't going to go out there and ride the bike. I just was not feeling it. So we didn't get all the footage I wanted to for this speaker setup, but that's okay. I got a lot to talk about with it.
Can't forget about the cats. And the fat cat. I know it's been like a month before my last video, probably. And I do want to do videos, want to go in the future. I just had to get myself back well and wanting to actually shoot these videos and edit these. We do have some content coming up. Bunch of stuff going on, so do want to get back into this, and hopefully nothing like COVID stops me again. But I do appreciate everyone who stuck around, the comments and likes and the new subscribers that have popped up since I haven't made any videos. I do appreciate you guys. But let's get home. I have no idea what she saw. But let's get home, and we'll wrap this up here. I appreciate every single one of you, but as always, keep it wretched.